was nothing but good to you. Made some mistakes, but I still love you. I guess I couldn't do for you the things you wanted me to. And when I said that I'll apologize, I meant every line I spoke. I couldn't do for you the things you wanted me to. Guess I couldn't do for you the things you wanted me to. But still I'm here, trying to understand the way that you could let me and expect us to be perfect, but nothing that way's ever worth it, worth the fight, the fall. Why would we not risk it all? And when it's not perfect, you know that there's discernment to tell you that somebody really loves you. They're not here to play you, but you couldn't see past my views. And when it came down to me and my wrongs, man, it hurt to know that I purchased them on my own. I was nothing but good to you.
Thank you for tuning into my channel. My name is Angie, also not known as The Light. Welcome to my channel. Please stop what you're doing, like this video, subscribe, share my video if you want to. Welcome if it's the first time that you are on my channel. And my channel is mostly based on narcissism, but I am a very spiritual person, so I'd like to talk about different experiences that I've had with the spirit realm. And for 2019, I'm going to be doing other topics, not just narcissism, and most importantly, healing from narcissism. I don't want to just keep talking about the narcissist, you know, being repetitive in my videos. And that's why if you donate, you get your own video. I email you after you donate, and this video today is from a donation. I'm not going to say her name, but thank you so much for your donation. You are appreciated, and thank you for your email. I can relate to what you told me in the email. I'm not going to reveal who you are, but you know who you are, so I hope you end up liking this video, because this video is dedicated to you and your situation. And so I got on red today, channeling, because y'all celebrate holidays. I don't really celebrate holidays. Excuse me, the lighting is terrible. It's because I have horrible lighting in my bedroom. Beautiful sunlight during the day, but it's nighttime right now, so the lighting is terrible. Hopefully it doesn't affect the video and you can see me clearly. Okay, so I hope everyone is doing well. I hope everyone enjoys their holiday, no matter what it is. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, you know, I don't even know, or nothing, you know, or anything. You're just celebrating life. Or you know, I don't celebrate holidays per se. I do observe New Year's Eve, because December 31st, 2006, my mother passed away. So I like to kind of go out, you know, and celebrate her life, because in 2006, when it was New Year's Eve, you know, before the ball even dropped, actually, December, you know, 31st, the night before, is when I found out. The morning of December 31st, 2006 is when I found out my mother passed away from cancer. Okay, so that's the reason why I celebrated. So it's for other reasons. I do believe your true new year is your birthday in springtime. Okay, but we're on the world's calendar and we live in the matrix together, right, guys? So you could observe, and I hope everyone is going into the new year narc free, okay? And I hope y'all are not obsessing over the narcissist, whether it was an ex-lover, ex-friend, or family, whether they're around or they're not around. I hope that everyone had an amazing year and they learned their lessons, and they're not going to keep going over and over and over again in these karmic, toxic, narcissistic friendships, relationships, whatever kind of relationship you have with these narcissists. Let it go. Let it go. I know it's hard, and yes, it does take time, because they say it takes a person 7 times before they actually leave a narcissist or a toxic relationship. And sadly to say, some people don't make it out alive. So pat yourself on the back, give yourself more credit, that you've come this far. Okay, I mean, if you get away from a narcissist, it's a huge blessing. It's amazing, and it's a huge accomplishment. Okay, so don't beat yourself up. Even if you do miss the narc, do not beat yourself up. Hey, I lately started thinking about a couple of narcs from my past, and not in the sense like I missed them, but just everything that I have been through with them. And I'm a person that kind of pushes out the things that I've been through. I push them out, or they get stored basically in my subconscious. So I guess being that I've been spending a lot of time alone these last 2 months, in my hermit stage. I usually go into like that hermit stage in December, because I know that I'm reminiscing on my mother's life, and because of the holidays, and it seems so fake to me and phony, and all the experiences that I've been through around, based on holidays. Okay, so, oh my goodness, the song I just played, how could I forget? This guy name is Avery Wilson. Avery Wilson. You can find, I think, his EP, his album is on iTunes, I believe. You can find it on YouTube, and his album is called, for your information, FYI. Okay, this guy is an independent artist. He was on The Voice, the show, the American version, when he was 16. He is about 24 years old now, and he's an independent artist. I went to his concert last Wednesday here in New York, and oh my gosh, he's phenomenal. And I played that song because I think we all felt that way, like we're not good enough, and some of us are still stuck in that, and it just fit like what I'm going to talk about today, about this young lady who emailed me, and we are enough, and we let the narcissist brainwash us all these years, whether it's a narcissistic parents, friends, ex-lovers. We let these people put us in this trance of feeling like we're not worthy to be loved, we're not worthy for nice things, we're not worthy for quality relationships, we're not worthy, for just anything. Okay, ice in our cup. That is how bad our heads are messed up by these narcissistic relationships that we had with multiple people. But yes, look this guy up, Avery Wilson. He is amazing. You can find him, I believe he's on Facebook. I shut down my Facebook, so I'm not really sure, but I follow him on Instagram, and I'm 35 and he's 24, but he's fine. I don't care. I would be a cougar for that. Oh my gosh, I have like such a huge crush on this singer, but mostly because of his talent. He is amazing. But yeah, he is fine, honey. I would be a cougar for that. Hopefully he never sees this video. That will be so embarrassing. But he is such a sweetheart. Like I've commented at him on Instagram, and he always comments back to me. such a sweetheart, such a humble guy, and I hope he makes it. And it's really sad how there are people out there who are extremely talented, okay, and they don't blow up and they don't make it in the industry. And why? Because they're pure. And that's similar to how us, the empaths, or just the genuine people and people who were narcissistically abused. I don't think this guy, well, I don't know his life story, but I'm just saying that I noticed that the people in life who have the most talent, who are the sweetest, or the, you know, who are genuine, we don't get that recognition. We don't get that same respect, you know, in comparison to the person who sells their soul, or to the person who you know, it's just out there to please the world, okay? Pretty much. So I got this email from the girl who donated, the woman, excuse me, because she's my age. She's 35 years old. And I got this email from her, and it was sweet, but it was also sad to read, because in this email she expressed how her family treats her, okay? And her family, I don't know which members are narcissistic, but she has narcissists in her family, or she believes that she does, that her family are narcissistic. And I can relate to that. No, I'm not a therapist. No, I'm not a life coach yet. But I grew up with a narcissistic stepfather. I repeat this over and over again in my videos, because some people, this could be the first video they come across and they're like, well, what makes her qualified? I believe I'm qualified because I grew up around narcissists. I was raised by one. My father's mother was narcissistic. I lived with her for 7 years of my life after my mother passed away. And I was in a 5.5, 6 year relationship with a narcissist. That made me almost want to kill myself, basically. I had a narcissistic best friend for 8 years, and the list goes on. The countless sexual relationships or just romantic relationships and friendships I had with narcissistic people. And I literally had to disappear on these individuals to get them out of my life, or God had to remove them. So that makes me qualified to answer your emails and your topics and talk about them. Okay. And it's amazing. Sometimes I see these comments like, oh, your story is a fake. Hey, I take that as a compliment. If you really think that my story is a fake, that means my life was really interesting. I'm only 35 years old. If you think I'm sitting around. And I also mean you think I'm a good storyteller as well. Okay. I'm trying to talk as fast as I can, but clear, so you can understand me. Okay. So the young woman in the email, she told me how her family, she basically, similar to the video that I did previously about being a self-sacrifice, the last video I had did before this one, about self-sacrificing for narcissists in your life. And in that video, go back and watch that video, I talked about how the narcissist trained us into self-sacrificing, meaning we always put the narc's feelings in first. We always put the narc's feelings first. Anything they need, they went first. They ate first. They spoke first. They got spoiled. They got catered to emotionally. We were their dumping ground. They used us for sex. They used us for money. Whatever it was, the narcissist used you. And even when you part from the narc, you still are self-sacrificing to the point where you don't know what it is to put yourself first. You don't know what self-care, self-love looks like. And that came from, you know, growing up with narcs, being in a relationship with narc, having narcissistic friends around you, where everyone is just literally sucking your blood. They're vampires. They're sucking your blood. Blood meaning your life source. They are literally draining your spiritual life force from you. okay, your resources, anything and anything a narc can take from you, but mainly your being. They're sucking the life out of you, literally, okay? And this is why little by little your personality changes, you develop sicknesses, illnesses, you develop depression, anxiety. They literally, narcs literally energetically um they break you down from the inside, and then it reflects your physical being, your physical body, your body starts to break down and everything like that. Okay, so and this may seem like an obvious question, but she said, why is it that I sacrifice, I do all these things for my family, but they don't do anything for me? When it comes time for me wanting help, needing help, they won't do it. It's just not, it's not gonna happen. And I know this is gonna sound really simple and silly, and here it goes. They don't care. They do not give a flying fuck about you. The narcissist does not care about you, and that's something you have to get through your head. Narcs do not care about you. They appear to care about you, but they do not care about you, and they never will. There is nothing that you can do that will make the narc see your value. Your value is you being their supply. You are the narc slave. No matter what is that supply that they're getting from you, you are there to service them. So why would they help you? Why would they show you the same care? They don't have empathy at all. Why would they show you the same empathy? Why would they show you the same care? Why would they do the same favors for you, or give you the same gifts or attention or love or anything like that? It's never going to happen. And instead of us, because we grew up this way, or we have low self-esteem, or whatever it may be, we never notice that our value for ourselves is completely gone. Okay? So that's why you're 35 years old, you live with your narcissistic family, and you're still stuck, and you're still asking, even though you know they're narcissists, you are still questioning your own being. You're still questioning your own value. Why? Technically, your family are demonically possessed. They're mentally ill. They're not healthy beings. Okay? And you're still questioning your own value and your own worth. And I get it, because when you've been abused, that is the result of being abused. They take your self-esteem. They take your self-love. They take your worth from you. And you have to build that shit back up. And yes, it takes time. And it took me time. And I'm still learning. I'm still healing. And I'm constantly doing things in finding some type of therapy sessions, some form to heal myself. And I was just talking to a female friend of mine, and she has mental illness, and she's bipolar. And she's constantly asking me the same questions over and over, and I'm telling her, you have to drown those spirits with positivity. Drown those spirits with positivity. And that's something I do when it comes to narcissists, and that's how I survived 7 years living with my narcissistic grandmother. No matter the negativity that narc threw at me, I threw positivity back. Now, don't get me wrong. The first maybe 3 years out of the 7 years, I fell for every comment that the narc said. I fell for every insult. And anything that she did to me, I internalized it, and I made it mine. I made it my own feelings about myself. How other people feel about you is their business. How you feel about yourself is your business. And that's what happens. We made what the narcs think of themselves. Actually, it's not about the narcs know we're fucking amazing. Okay? If that spirit did not think you were amazing or you had something to offer, it wouldn't be near you. It wouldn't be trying to it wouldn't be trying to take from you. Okay? It wouldn't be trying to drain your light. It wouldn't be trying to steal from you. First of all, these dark spirits, these narcissists, they cannot take from people who have nothing. So you came as a whole person. When they saw you, they were like, I gotta have that person. I gotta drain their light. You're everything that a narcissist can't be. You're everything that narcissist wishes they can be. That's why they're sitting there living off your life supply. Now, I hope and pray that you manifest and that you work as hard as hell, or that you're willing to sacrifice to get out of that home with your narcissistic family, because you cannot grow. You cannot grow when you're under the narcissist. You can't. But my advice is to tell yourself every day, how they treat me does not equal my value. How they talk to me does not equal my value. It equals their value. They're sick. Narcs are sick individuals. They're people who had horrible childhoods themselves, and they locked their psychological mind, got locked. Some part into their childhood through a traumatic experiences that they had. Their mind literally locked at that time, and that's why they seem to be kids. They seem to act like teenagers, or babies or anything like that, because they literally clocked out on their own true self. So you taking advice from somebody who's clocked out, who gave up on themselves, who's not even mentally present, who don't even have control over their body and their spirit? Does that make any sense? No. And this is something I had to keep telling myself. I mean, I really wasn't that deep into narcissism at the time, but I kept saying, everything she says to me is a reflection of herself. Everything that she does to me is a reflection of herself. You gotta know, when people treat you a certain way, do you know how ugly and nasty a person has to be to talk down on people? How ugly and nasty a person has to be inside to treat people badly? Do you know how dirty and filthy this spirit is? You cannot think that you're not worthy. You are worthy, and you got to figure out a way. I don't know if you're spiritual, if you do believe in manifestation, if you do believe in speaking things into existence, but just say 2019, I'm getting out that house. I don't even care if you got to go to a woman's shelter. Anything you have to do to get out from underneath the narc, do it. But if you can't, you need to mentally start training yourself. I mean, I think I've told this story before. My narcissistic grandmother, when I was living with her, she was like, oh, you're not going to be shit. You're fat. You're ugly. And this is something I heard all the time. And eventually I was like, you know what? I'm not fat. Well, I am fat, but I'm not fat and ugly. I'm not, I'm not just a big person. I'm beautiful. I have a lot to give. I have talents. These are things that I had to look at myself in the mirror every day and daily, keep telling myself. All those things that she was saying to me, she was literally projecting her ugliness onto me. That's all they do. That's all narcs do, is projection. Now, you asking me, why wouldn't they not help you? Because they don't want to. Your family does not give a flying fuck about you. If people care about you, they will sacrifice for you. If people care about you, they will offer help. If people love you, you would know. You would know, and it's okay. You sometimes have to be your own family. Some of us black sheep, you know, empaths, loners, whatever you call yourself, consider yourself. You have to become your own family. Half my family is either dead, narcissistic, or I don't even know where the hell they at. I don't have no relationship with them. I literally had to become my own family. Until God blesses me with a husband and children, that's what I have to do. And a lot of us are kind of, I think, late, not married, because we need to heal. We have got to heal. Why would you want to go into relationships unhealed? It's unfair to that person to get you when you're battered and beaten up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just unreal. It's unfair. Your relationship may not even work out. It's best to heal now and then date, marry, whatever you want to do. If you don't want to date, that's fine too. How do you find your happiness? You work on yourself. You have to want to be happy. Happiness is all just a state of the mind. That's it. That's it. Because I've seen homeless people outside. I live in New York City, and I've seen people on the bridges playing dominoes, you know, chilling, happy, you know what I'm saying? Just living their life. There's millionaires who are unhappy. It is a state of mind, okay? I live in, I guess you could say, like a Spanish neighborhood where there's a lot of immigrants in my neighborhood. And I watch them, and I mean, you can tell that they don't really have much. They just have each other, you know, and they can just, I've seen things like they buy like one little meal and they share it with the mom and dad and the two kids. And I'm just like, wow. And they laughing through it and they playing with each other. And I said, wow, that's happiness. They're happy. You don't have to have much to be happy. It's all a state of the mind. And you have to keep feeding yourself. Dark spirits do not like happy things. Dark spirits do not like positivity. So in order to drown those spirits, keep watching positive videos like me, like myself, like my channel, and other people out there. Keep drowning your spirit with positive things. Read self-help books. Go get a therapist or a life coach, okay? Do yoga. Eat right. Also, your diet has a lot to do with your mood swings and everything like that. Hence why I'm trying to give up meat right now. I'm going like just wean myself off of it. I want to just eat fish and then stop eating fish altogether. And that's how you find your happiness. You do something that you've never done before. You go take a trip by yourself. If you don't isolate yourself and get to know yourself, then you will never end up loving yourself. You will never find that happiness again. Don't think finding your happiness would be the next penis or the next vagina. No. Your happiness needs to be found within you. Do things that you're afraid to do. Do something you've never done before. Shock people. Use your talents. Help other people that were in your situation. There's so many ways to find your own happiness. And everyone has a different, you need to even sit down and write down what would me being happy look like. I have a book. This is my little book. I write my prayers in this book, my manifestations, I mean, everything. I write a lot of different things in this book. And the power of writing is very powerful too. Write it down. There is people who have wrote, I think it was Jim Carrey who wrote himself $1 million check. And then boom, he was able to cash that $1 million check. So writing, seeing your handwriting, putting post-its around your house. I said this so many times in my videos. It is so important to visualize and accept it also, and know that you do deserve what you're asking for. Whatever you're asking the universe for, you deserve it, and you need to accept it. Okay? Now, I can relate when it comes to my family not doing shit for me. Okay? And that's why I did that video about self-sacrificing, because I said, you know what? I'm not gonna do shit anymore. I don't know. Yo, I'm telling you, one day you wake up and you're like, you know what? I'm done with that. I'm done with always giving and never getting back. And I'm not saying not to help people or anything like that, but I'm talking about, when people are using you. Don't allow people to use you. Or even mention it. Hey, you know what? I did this and you never do that. Or you can say something, but of course the narc will always flip it on your ass. You know how they do. They will always turn it on you, okay? And you know what? I'm gonna just speak my mind. I'm gonna tell the truth. I don't care. Whoever comes across this video, they come across it, then they just gonna know. But I have a sibling, and he has a lot of narcissistic ways, and we're not close at all. I'm 35. My sibling is 47. And I woke up one day and said, wow, he never does anything for me. I never get like texts or calls or anything like, hi, how are you doing? And if there is a hi or how you doing, it's followed by a story about something that they're doing with their life. Typical narc shit. Okay? And prime example, when my niece was born, but she's 13 years old now. But when she was a baby, for 4 years, I babysat her until she went on to school. And then when she went into school, I would go from Queens all the way to Manhattan, which is a whole nother borough, if you know, like a whole nother town, if you know New York well. Or you don't have to know New York. So I would go from one town to the next just to pick my niece up from school. I would get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to do things for her. I mean, I remember my brother calling me and saying oh, your niece is sick. Like I was her mom or something. Your niece is sick, or your niece this, your niece that, your niece this. And I was just always just constantly doing. And I remember when my mom died, actually, and my sibling had just bought a house. And I was living from house to house for 1 year. And my sibling never ever offered for me to go live with him. He had a finished basement. I could have lived there. Never. And I remember, me saying at one point I was thinking oh, I'm going to have to go into a shelter, because what am I going to do? Continue to live with friends? I had a job, but New York rent was so expensive. I had to live from house to house for a whole year. And I will never forget, I said to him, well, I think I'm going to have to move into shelter. And he said, okay, call me when you get there. And this is the level of how narcissists are. They don't give a fuck about you. You're there to supply for them, and that's it. That's it. That is your purpose in life for your narcissistic family. Okay? I remember in 2016, 2 years ago, I have issues with my ovaries, with my reproductive system, and I had to get surgery. And it was my first surgery ever. I never had surgery in my life until 2 years ago. And I don't have family. In New York, I have my brother, and then I have my uncle who I live with. We live together. We own a house together. And my uncle has mental illness, and then my supposedly next same sibling, relative would be my brother. So I stayed in the hospital for 2 days by myself. My brother never came up to the hospital. Never brought me water. Even when I got out the hospital, it took me about a good month or two to heal. I was in so much pain. Okay. My body just didn't bounce back like that. And I was literally sore. Like, my whole abdomen was sore. My stomach, my insides, I didn't feel the same. I mean, my back, I had to take 600, 800 milligrams of like prescription. I could see how people get addicted to it. But long story short, he never even stopped by and said, Angie, here's a jug of water. Hey, Angie, I picked you up some food. Do you need anything? Never. Never, never. Didn't I ask him to pick me up from the hospital after I got out, after they released me? And he told me, oh, I have to take my grandmother to the bank. I can't come get you. And, it's just these things that, just keeps happening. And I woke up one day like, wow. So my question is to you, I'm not going to say your name. How much is it going to take for you to realize that your narcissistic family does not give a shit? That, I think, and you know what, we all have our moments. So that was my moment. I said, wow, I've not that I regret anything, because I love my niece to death. But I said, wow, I've been there since day one. I've done a lot for my brother. A lot. The things that I'm not even going to even discuss on my channel. And I'm like, damn. I couldn't sit back and think of one. I can't sit back and think of one thing that would make me go, dang, yo, he had my back. Not even one. I can't. And just recently he said he's a real estate agent now. And I wrote a poetry book 2 years ago. He didn't buy my book. I actually had to end up giving him my book for free. And my book was only $10 on Amazon. It's still on Amazon, by the way. And he never even supported my book. But wants me to support his real estate business. And it just continues. And it just keeps going. These people are fucking crazy. Excuse my language. They're serious. They are serious. They don't care. This guy actually dropped off a stack of his business cards and dropped it off in my mailbox. Because that's what the narc is used to. Always using you. You're always there to support them. He doesn't ask me who you're dating, what is your next business plan, how is life, how is your health. And this is my only sibling. He doesn't know shit about me. So hopefully that answers your questions. Your narc family don't care about you. And I know it's hard to get that through your head, but they don't care about you. And I know the holidays are coming up for you guys. Please don't fall into the narc trap with these holidays. Don't even go. Why would you want to be around people who don't even love you? Why? Why would you want to be around people who don't care about you? Why? I did it too. Do you know all these years my brother has been married, left his woman and went back to her. They've been together for 14 years, I believe, because my niece is my niece is 13 now. So they've been together for about 14, 15 years. So y'all do the math. I have never been invited to their house on a holiday. Ever. In 15 years, guys. When my narcissistic grandmother was alive, she would go to the golden child's house. She would cook dinner, leave our house. Instead of having Thanksgiving dinner with us as a family, she would cook, leave, and go to the golden child's house. And the golden child is the person, the child that the narc worships. Okay? It's also set up that way to make you look like there's something wrong with you. And there ain't shit wrong with you when you're really the golden child. You're really everything that they wish they can be. You will never be like your family, and you weren't meant to be like them. You just came into this planet through them, but you're nothing like them, and you're not a part of them. I am my own best friend. I am my own family, and that's something that I want to cry for you. That is something that I had to tell myself. And I want you to tell yourself that too. And it's difficult, and trust me, God is going to, universe, whatever you believe in, whatever you want, whatever you think, it will appear in your life. But eventually, you will get new friends and new family. When you become the person that you need to become, when you become healed, your energy will start to attract the right men, the right women, the right friends. Hey, I actually have good friends right now. There's a couple of narcissists who try to come into my life this year, and I sniff them out or whatever. It's cool. But I do have great friends. I'm thankful. Now I just gotta manifest the right man, okay? I think maybe I still have some residue that I need to clean up myself in order to attract the right man. Because I'm still attracting narcissistic men from time to time. But that's okay. Like, I'm not perfect. Y'all not perfect either. So, guys, I send you nothing but love and strength and happiness. Get through Christmas and get through the new year. Get through Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, Kwanzaa, whatever it is. Get through it. And if you can skip the holiday dinner, the holiday events, do so. Or leave early. Don't answer no questions. Sit there, blink. Or they throw negativity at you, get up from the table and walk away. They put you in embarrassing situations. Oh, I gotta go. Make up something. Stop entertaining people who do not like you and love you. Do not hang out with people who do not love you or like you. Narcissistic or not. I know it sucks when you live with a narcissist, but you kind of mentally, you have to mentally tune out, literally. And you have to understand that the things that they do and they say, it's going to bother you. Of course it is. But it's not a reflection of who you are. It is a reflection of them. So my first advice to you is you have to change your mental. You have to change your thoughts. If you have to listen to affirmations, do so. If you have to write it down, do so. If you have to seek out a therapist, do so. And come up with a plan and write it down. And when you pray, say, God, universe, put me in the position to be able to provide so I will never have to need my narcissistic family for anything. Don't just say, God, give me money. No. Ask God, ask the universe to put you in the position to stabilize yourself to get out. Okay? It's sad that I had to wait until my narc died. Okay. Um, Meaning my grandmother. But it's difficult. It's not easy because I'm an aunt and I love my niece to death. But I have to stay away majority of the time. I think I've only seen my niece twice this whole year, and that hurts me, guys. I want to cry right now. It hurts me. So trust me, girl. I know what you're feeling. But sometimes you have to sacrifice, and you have to do that for your own happiness and your own sanity. You can't be around these narcs. So I'm going to chime off. This video is almost an hour long. I love you guys. Thank you for a great year. Okay. I gained 1,000 subscribers this year. And I know that if I put more effort in, I could have had way more than that. But I wasn't consistent, and I plan to be more consistent in 2019, and I'm thankful for you guys sticking in there. And I know I disappeared because I have a lot of things going on right now in my life. But if you like your own video, donate to me. My PayPal and my Cash App information will either be in the description bar below or scroll into the comment section. It is always there, and if not, comment to me and I will respond to you guys. I love you all. Peace and blessings. I'm out.